Alright fellas, welcome back. Can you hear that blooping? It's the sounds of fermentation, which always brings the brewery to life. It doesn't seem right when there's nothing fermenting. But we're going to get to that in a second. Firstly, we'll talk about some beers that I picked up. They're all from Thornbridge. Now these are beers I've never had before, and I hadn't seen them till I went into this little shop. Firstly, we've got this one. The Thornbridge Tart. This is a collaboration beer with the Wild Beer Company. Bakewell Sour 6%. So I'm gonna give that a whirl. I'm gonna give it its own review. I had a look on YouTube, no reviews on it, not that I could find. The next one is the Rhubarbe de Saison, which is the 2015 Great British Homebrew Challenge winner. They ran a competition with Brew UK, and the winner was Will Alston, and he brewed it at Thornbridge alongside them. So I'm going to give that one a review because it's always good to hear about companies taking on homebrew challenges, taking them seriously, and then rewarding them with you know, getting it brewed up on a big scale, which is fantastic. The next one is the Thornbridge Eldon, which is an Imperial Bourbon Oak Aged Stout. This is a couple of weeks old on release, so a couple of weeks back this got released, so this is pretty new. So we've got that one to do. But today we're going to do one that really intrigued me, because when I was doing my research they said something about this beer that pricked my ears up. I love you. Will you marry me? This one jumped out at me on the shelf because it was a strawberry blonde, and I thought, well, that's gonna sound interesting. If they do it right, then it's gonna be enjoyable. If it's a nice natural strawberry flavour, then it's gonna do really well. I did a bit of research on it, and apparently they brew it with whole strawberries, so there's no strawberry essence, no strawberry syrups or anything like that, to my knowledge. You can see at the bottom there's a bit of a haze, but they brew it with no hops. There's no hops in this, so it's just the malt body of a blonde, and then they're getting the tartness and bitterness, they say, from the fresh strawberries. So I was like, yes, let's pick this up, let's give it a whirl, and let's see if we can enjoy a beer without any hops in it. My goodness. So let's get it cracked open, see what we've got. Thornbridge beers. I do like Thornbridge beers, and most of them are really good. The rest are good, and there's only the odd time where there's one where you just think that hasn't worked. But as a whole, Thornbridge are quite nice, and they serve them in a friggin' pint, which is awesome. So let's get this poured out. I can smell the strawberries. It's definitely in there. So there we have it. It's definitely a blonde. It's not as hazy as the one that I saw, but I reckon the last little bit will be, because it has settled. Not for much of a head, but let's go in for the aroma. That's nice and malty. It's almost got like a lager malt profile into it, and you are getting the strawberries as well. The good thing about this is I didn't want to pick it up and expect a big fruit bomb, because it's not a fruit beer. So the strawberries just want to enhance the malts, and so far on the aroma they're doing that. Anyway, cheers guys. Let's crack into this, and then we can talk about what happened when we went over to see Harry at Idle Valley Brewery. No hops, but you know what? It's not bad at all. That ain't bad at all. That's really refreshing. I mean, I was open-minded about this one anyway, because where they're going to get the bittering from to sort of balance the beer, balance the malts out. This is going to be really embarrassing if there is hops in it, but I did watch a video that Thornbridge put out where they said it's brewed with no hops. And they said they were relying on the strawberry to give it that tart sort of finish. The malts are definitely there. It's almost a lager malt profiling on the flavour as well as the aroma. It's nice and light, it's nice and refreshing, and the strawberries are definitely there, but they aren't sort of showing off. They aren't jumping in front of the malts and taking over. It's quite well balanced actually. And at the back end you are getting a nice tartness. It's not over the top, but it's definitely there. It's a subdued tartness, but there doesn't need to be a hell of a lot of tartness because the body of it and the malts that are in it don't require a huge amount of tartness or bitterness that's coming off the fresh strawberries, and so it works. In a funny way, it sort of works. 4.5%, so it's an all-dayer. You know, you could crack a few of these out. See if we can get a bit of head there. Oh yeah. I can see this being extremely refreshing in the midst of summer. You crack the barbecue out, sit back with these, because it is sort of, it's not quite a fruit beer and it's not quite a blonde. Do you know what I mean? It's funny, but it works. Wow, I'm surprised with that one. I do like that. Anyway, right, went over to see Harry to brew up the coconut shy PA again because people were asking for it in the tap, wanting to know when it was coming back, and so we thought, well, let's get together and do it again. It was a blast the last time, it's going to be a blast this time, and it friggin' was. In the description box I'll leave a link to that brew day video. Not quite like the first video I did with the brewing up the coconut shy PA there. There's already a brew day video on it. This one is more of a relaxed affair, let's say, but there's a few other bits and bobs in there that were quite funny. I'm glad I had the camera for them. But the difference is that the last time we brewed it and I uploaded the video, I didn't have a grain to glass for it. We've got the playlist now for grain to glass, and this coconut shy PA is going to be in there because we took some home with us and it's what's blopping away. So let's take a look at it now and see how it's doing. Oh goodness, fellas, that looks nice and healthy. A nice healthy cap on there. It's going like the clappers, and it's being fermented at the same temperature that the bigger brother is being fermented at 19.5 degrees. Yeah, so the interesting thing about this one, which is going to be good to keep an eye on, is that this batch that's bubbling away now has had the water treatment done to it, which is going to help when it comes to the secondary additions of the coconut and the hops, because the hops are sealed, so they're alright, but the coconut's been opened, and so when adding secondary stuff, if your pH isn't right, there is a chance of wild fermentation, wild yeast bacteria sort of taking hold. So it's going to be interesting to see what it's turning out with, like here when I get it on the gas with the water treatment. Also, we added the oxygen to it, which we don't normally do here because I haven't got an oxygen tank, so I'm just relying on the force of the pump sort of oxygenating it. You are getting the air that's being pushed around that's in the brewery, which is going to be, you know, it's going to have some bacteria in it. You can't get away from that. So I'm going to look into getting an oxygen tank. And the third thing is that this coconut shy PA is going to be conditioned on gas. So we haven't tasted it conditioned on gas and served from a keg. It's only been cast before. So it's going to be interesting. There's a few things that I'm going to be excited to follow and take you through the journey of it. So from this stage to get it into a glass and seeing how it turns out, it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, going back to the channel, we've got the new banner. I've slimlined the channel, so I just went on it the other day and was looking at it and thought, this is just all jumbled up. There seems to be no order to the channel. If you just wanted to go directly to the channel and look through a few videos, it just looked all over the place. So I've scrapped it all and I've made a few playlists. If you wanted to watch a beer review, all the beer reviews are there. If you wanted to watch an out and about video where we're just either at beer festivals or we're out messing about or out at Idle Valley or wherever, it'll be there. Grain to glass videos are going to be there. There's a playlist with playlists inside it, so you can click on the different playlists. I think the only one in there at the minute is the Age of Exploration Columbus Pale Ale. I've got that playlist in there, grain to glass, and I'm just trying to make it a little bit more viewer friendly so you guys can come over and get straight to what you're wanting. But if you want me to do it a different way, or if there's something else that would make it easier for you to watch the videos or find them later, comment below and let me know. But I'm impressed with this one. Friggin' hell. Do you know what, there looked to be a lot of haze in the bottom of that bottle. Sort of an inch up the bottle it was really hazy, but it must have evened itself out. That's it, boys. That is it. So I'm going to keep up to date with this. I'll keep the videos rolling. And when I'm done with it, they'll be in the playlist below. And that's it. Nothing more to say. But there'll be some more reviews coming up with these, because I'm interested in all three of them. And I want to see what you think. That's friggin' it. So as always, don't forget to thumb up this video in case you don't want to do. Don't forget to subscribe. There's a little red button down there. Subscribe. Click it. You won't miss out. Share the video. Get it out there for all to see. And until next time, I'm out of here.